Have a list of courses that we can edit with a really simple form. Let's take a look at being able to remove elements that are already in the list. Right? So, for instance, what I like to be able to do is in the course service. Again, here's where we're centralizing all the CRUD operations on our data model. I'd like to do something like delete course, and we might have the course ID. And what we're going to do is that we're just going to update the list of courses to contain all the courses except the course that has that ID. Basically, we want to filter out the courses. So this will be filter, which is going to iterate over the list of courses and pass us the instance of the course. And we're going to filter out and says we don't want the one that has, we only want the ones whose course ID is not the course ID that we're trying to remove. So keep all the other ones, right? Keep the ones that are not the same as that course ID we want to remove. Okay. Right. So if we have that, then we can go to the course list component, for instance, and add an X button at the end on the right-hand side. So maybe we'll have maybe a button that says delete. Let's see. There it is, the delete. And maybe we can send it all the way to the right-hand side. We can say class, and this is float to the right. There we go. And that's going to push the delete button all the way to the right. And what we're going to do here is that whenever we click on this button, right? If say on click, we would like to invoke this dot delete, right? Delete course. And this delete course, we don't have it. Let's implement it. So where should we implement it? Notice that we can't implement it here, right? Because this is a stateless component, and a stateless component can't change its state. Instead, the only one who is the owner of this state is our parent course list, right? Our course list, right, that is including us. It's embedding us, right? Is the one who's maintaining the state, right? Is the one who has the state of the initial courses and whatnot, right? So what we need to do is implement delete up here, right? And have it invoked from down in the course list component. So we have here a delete course that's going to take in the course ID that we're trying to remove, right? For now, let's do a console.log course ID. Okay. What we're going to do is that we're going to pass in this delete function as an argument into the course list component. Let's break this up a little bit. Right, so we're going to break this up. We're going to pass these as arguments as an attribute. Right, we're going to pass in a reference to this delete course. See that? I'm going to do the same thing probably with the course grid component. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to pass in delete course, referencing the local delete course function. So now that we have that here, this courses, not only are we receiving the list of courses, we're also receiving the delete course reference, right? So now we can invoke it right here, and click on when we click on this button, the function declared in our parent will be invoked. So let's try that out. So we go here in the console. We can look at we can break this out, right? And if we click here, notice that it is printing in the props. Actually, no, that's not what I was looking for. Console. That's course list 8. Course list 8 is the delete. Okay, this is what I want to display. Okay, notice one thing, right? That it's actually passing us something that is not necessarily the course ID, right? It's passing the event, the raw event. We want to pass the course ID. So to do that, we have to do in the onClick. Right now, it's just doing an implicit call on this function. We want to be explicit what we want to pass in, right? So what we'll do is that we'll embed this inside of a function so that we can explicitly pass what we want to pass. And what we want to pass is the ID of the course, right? Because notice that we're iterating over the course, right? We have access to the particular object instance of the course, so we're going to pass the ID. So let's try that out again. Console, so we click on this. Notice that there it is, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, and whatnot. Yes. All right, so now that we have the ID, we can go back to course ID and actually implement the delete. So in the delete, what we'll do is that we will, let's wrap this inside of an actual function. There we go. And what we'll do here is that we will pretty much do the same thing that we did for the create course. We're going to use this set state so that we have access to the previous state and remove that element, and then we can reset the service. So let's do that. So this will be, let's say this dot set state, right? And the set state is going to have a previous state. We'll probably, well, maybe we won't need the previous state because we're not updating or changing from the we don't need to copy anything from the old state. But nevertheless, let's see. We're going to do. We're going to call this dot service dot delete course. I'm going to pass in the course ID. So that's going to remove the course. It's going to retrieve the new courses, right? So const courses. Okay, and now we can just update the state. Yeah, we don't need the previous state. So let me use the more abbreviated syntax, right? Where nevertheless we need a function, right? Because we need to first do this. And yes, we do need to do it inside as being called by the set state, so that we make sure that we don't have race conditions. So yes, no, we do need this syntax. All right, so now that we have the courses, we can set the state, we can return the new state, and say that for the courses will be the courses of deleting. Right? So actually we can abbreviate this and just put it here, right? We don't need to have an intermediate calculation. Oh, okay. So it looks like we can have this as an implicit return here, right? So this will be like that, right? And we can just remove this this return so that it becomes an implicit return. There we go. Like that. Okay. All right. So let's try it out. Let's go into the into delete, and let's delete course number 2. Oops. Course filter. Yeah. I cannot probably on the find filter. Data service delete course. It's this one in the course service. That's courses. I misspelled that. Let's try that again. Delete. There we go. So notice that we can delete the courses if we add new courses. We can remove those as well. Okay, because they have a unique identifier. So excellent. If we go to the grid. Let's see. Probably we never used a key when we were rendering the grid. So let's fix that. If we go to the course grid, notice that when we were rendering here, we never used the key. Right? So let's fix that. So let's add a key here. Key that points to course.id. There we go. Let's fix that. Okay, now it's not complaining. All right, notice that the course grid, we don't have a delete button, so let's fix that. Let's add a delete button, perhaps right next to the title. Here we can put a button that says delete. And what I'd like to be able to do is pass in as an argument, just like we did for the course list, we're going to pass in delete course as an argument, as a parameter. And we're going to invoke it when we click on this button. We're going to say on click. We're going to embed it inside of a function so that we can pass in the course ID. There we go. Let's see. There's our delete button. If we notice that, yes, we can delete those courses or add new ones. And they're added at the bottom on the other right-hand side. So new course 321. There it is. And we can remove the new ones that we created or the old ones that were already there. Excellent.